Natural physics is a concept astrophysicist LeRoy developed that explains in down-to-earth scenarios how the principles of physics could have come about from observing nature. Each episode begins with a scenario, followed by an example to illustrate the application of these principles in futuristic research at the frontiers of science, such as LeRoy's astrophysics doctoral research, and then concludes with an exploration of how these same principles could have very well been used by ancient cultures and civilizations. Mathematics is naturally encountered and incorporated as the exciting and fun tool of science that it is. Science is the window into our amazing world of nature, and mathematics is the tool to open that window. Natural physics encompasses current, futuristic, and ancient physics, and ties them together by the principles of physics that are common threads running throughout each.
Greetings, everyone. I'm LeRoy, and welcome to the Natural Physics Experience, live from Costa Rica. Continuing in our dialogue with the sustainable engineer, environmental expert, Pascale, my colleague, we last talked about the indulgence is the wrong word, overhunting and deforestation, cutting down the trees and the plants, the flora, and again, the overhunting, overfishing of our fauna, our animals. So continuing in that dialogue, I'm going to hand it over, so happily as always, to Pascale. Please, Pascale.
Thank you, LeRoy. Yes, let's continue to have a better understanding as why we are losing our biomass and biodiversity and what we can do. So the third reason of that lost, it's global warming. Due to the CO2 equivalent emission, it acts as a blanket on our Earth, and the temperature is increasing quite fast. It's due to human activity. We will go deeper on that topic later on, but mainly what you need to understand is 75% of the emission come from energy. So if we switch our energy to renewable, first, we will not have to rely on foreigner country, and second, we will decrease our emission. And the last quarter is due to agriculture, and as I already mentioned, is also co-consumption due to the methane emission, and mainly speaking, meats. So let's see why global warming is causing so much pain on our biodiversity. First, for example, the plants are supposed to bloom during the springs, but now sometimes in the middle of the winter, the temperature are increasing for weeks, maybe 2. So the plants believe it's already a springtime, so it start to bloom, and then the winter come back, and then finally the spring come. So the plant will bloom again, so twice, and it's a huge physical effort for the plants. So doing that twice instead of one they're going to die. And if the plants die, the insects will not survive. And if the insects cannot survive, the animals will not too, because they eat insects. And the insects are affected by this increasing of temperature, really sensitive. So by increasing even a little bit, that's going to kill them. So we can see there are less and less impacts, less and less insects. We can see that on the impact on our car, for example. Before we had so many things to clean when you have a long drive, and now it's almost nothing on the car anymore. So the insect population is dropping quite fast. So that causes migration of animals because they cannot survive in that environment too hot. They don't have aircon. So they migrate and they become difficult and finally disappear or die because there are no time to adapt. If we look at the Earth history, the change of temperature who appear was quite slow, very slow. So the species had time to adapt. But due to the human activity, the change is very, very fast. So there is no time to adapt. So we should really involve ourselves to reduce our CO2 emission by switching our energy usage. It's not so difficult. I signed in for solar panel. It was working pretty well. I enjoy to not receive a so tremendous amount of electricity bills. So when it's done, it's done. And the price of that kind of device has dropped so much. So you have really a good equilibrium for the money back. And to have fun a little bit, as we mentioned, we're going to see a video of Remy Gaillard to conclude on that topic. Thank you.
C'est la panique, panique, panique sur le périphérique. C'est la panique, panique, panique sur le périphérique. Trop de trafic, c'est la panique, panique, panique sur le périphérique. C'est la panique, panique, panique sur le périphérique. Trop de trafic, c'est la panique en Afrique, panique en Amérique, panique aux fanatiques. C'est la panique, panique, panique sur le périphérique, trop de trafic. Panique aux ascétiques, panique à la boutique, panique démocratique, panique et sans plastique. C'est la panique, panique, panique sur le périphérique, trop de trafic. Panique démocratique, catholique, islamique, panique numérique, panique aux fanatiques. C'est la panique, panique, panique sur le périphérique.